Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. Thanks so much for joining me today. So, today I'm going to give you a little sneak peek from the new catalog. So, the new catalog is going to go live this Tuesday. So, are you excited? I'm super excited. So, today we're going to focus on some new designer paper, which is called Fresh as a Daisy, and it has some beautiful designs in it. But I'm going to focus on just one particular sheet from this 12 by 12-inch designer series paper pack. And this particular sheet allows you to create kind of your own one sheet wonder. So you can cut up the entire sheet. And then I created 7 cards with it, but you might be able to create more. So I'm going to just give you a little sneak peek of what's coming out. This is probably one of my favorite suites. There's another suite that is my favorite, but I can't order it until Tuesday. So good morning, everyone. So here's a sampling of some of the cards that I put together with this particular sheet of paper. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger here so you can see. But the Fresh as a Daisy suite, this is from the new catalog. It just has some really beautiful patterns on it, and you can make just very simple cards. So yeah, I love this piece of DSP. I wish there was more than just 2 pieces in there because it's really cool. So I'm going to show you how I made these, and I made 7 of them. So I'm going to take you through that, but I'm going to show you excuse me, I'm going to show you the designer paper first. So this is what the piece of paper looks like. I'll try to get as much of it on the screen as I can. So it has all these fun little pieces in it. And basically what you do is you just cut along the lines that are already here in this designer paper. And then I just took all the pieces. Once I cut this piece out, I just took all those pieces to create the cards that I'm going to share with you today. So good morning, everybody. Good morning. So let's start with this one. So I'm just going to show you here. This is this piece in the designer paper. So that's what I used. So I just cut up that entire piece and then I made these cards. And I have everything pre-cut because I'm going to try to show you all 7 cards today. So we'll see how this goes. All right, so for this first one, I decided to use some early espresso cardstock for the base of the card. And then I just cut this piece right out of the designer paper and I cut it down to 3/4 by 5 inches. So that is what I am adding to my card base. If I can get my glue to work. And I just want to show you how simple it is to create these cards. So we'll just add that. And then I have the Cheerful Daisies bundle. So let me show you that. This is the Cheerful Daisies bundle. So this is a new bundle that's coming out. So the stamp set's in here. And then there's a variety of different dies in here, which I used to decorate the cards. So one of the dies in this particular bundle is this fun little label die. So I just stamped a greeting on it. And then we're just going to pop it up on the card. And then you can add, whatever you want to decorate your card. Whoops, I put it up a little too high. Can I peel it off? I can. There we go. I wanted to put it down a little bit. So then you can add whatever you want. I added some pearls and a little bit of twine. So that's it. That's how simple it is to create the card. So that's one card. Let me put this aside. Here is the second one. And both of these pieces here came from the designer paper. So let me grab my stuff here. So these are the 2 pieces that I cut out from the designer paper and used them together. Oops, I forgot to cut this one down. See, just when I thought I was all ready to go, and then I forget to cut something down. 3.5 by 4. So let's do that. So some of the pieces, I just cut them down a little bit, but most of the pieces I just used as they are. So let's see, this is 4 inches. I'm just going to cut this down quick. And 3.5. So let me just cut the side. I just cut a little bit off the side of this piece. I just cut a little piece off each side so that I could put that on the card. Sorry about that. See, like I said, just when I thought that I had everything good to go. So I cut this down to 3.5 by 4 so that I could add this little piece right here. And this piece I just cut directly from the designer paper. I didn't change this piece at all. So this piece just goes on the left side, and then I just put this piece on the right side. So it has that garden green color in it, which accents, the green that's in the flowers here. So that's the basic design. And then I just added my greeting. So I pretty much use that same label throughout all of these cards. And I think I used the same greeting, made a bunch of birthday cards. And then I just added some pearls down the side and then a little bow. So I'm going to add a little bow here with a glue dot. And we'll just stick that right on there. And then you can trim that down. So that is card number 2. How easy is that? So you don't have to cut this piece down like I did. I just wanted to cut it down because I wanted to use this little green piece here. So I thought it made just a really beautiful card. All right, so that's 2 already. 2, and it's only been a couple minutes since we started. And then this is the 3rd card. So for this one, I just used a bunch of pieces that I cut from that designer paper. So I just cut out this large piece. And so this is our background. So this is just 4 by 5.25 inches. And I just put this in the background. And then I have this yellow piece. And again, this I just cut directly from the designer paper. So I didn't change the dimensions on this. And I just put this right in the center. And then I cut let's see here, a piece of vellum, which is 3/4 by 2 3/4. So it's 3 1/4 by 2 3/4. Ooh, say that 10 times fast. So we'll add this right in the center. I like to add vellum to my cards just to kind of add a little bit more layering. It gives a little bit more depth and dimension. And then I just cut out one of the flowers from a different piece of that designer paper. So I just used my scissors, just kind of cut around and tried to keep some of that pretty peacock color in there. And so I'm going to use this as the focal point for the card. So obviously this one is a little different. I just cut out a different design. So we'll add that. And then we'll just add our little greeting right here. So let me put some dimensionals on here. Let's see. Put a dimensional there. And I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on this side. All right. And then you can just add some pearls or whatever kind of embellishments that you want to add, but just really super cute, very simple to make. All right, we're cruising right along here. And I'll put all these out on my blog. So if you missed some of them, don't worry. They will be out on the blog. So here is another piece of that pattern paper that I just used as is. And so this is what it looks like. This is the back, by the way, with the new in color on the back. So that's kind of fun. Although we're not using the back right now. So we'll just add this right to our card front. And then just embellish it. So isn't that cool? I I don't know. I just love how the one sheet wonder is all set for you. All you have to do is cut on those lines, and you can cut these pieces down if you want. You know, I could have cut this in half and made 2 cards out of it, but I decided to just make one. But there's lots of fun ways that you can use this designer paper. I'm just giving you a few ideas. So I'm just going to add a little bow here. And then you can add some little pearls. So, all right, so what is that? That's card number 4 already. All right, and then this next card, this next card I used, I'll show you. I used this piece from the designer paper. So this is one of the pieces from this this large sheet of designer paper. This is that piece. Here we go. This is that piece over here. So, you know, this makes a really great, you know, like beach scene or just really great sky kind of scene. But I wanted to stick with the daisies. So what I did with this one is I turned it this direction. Instead of using it this direction, we're going to use it in the portrait style. And then I just added an additional piece of designer paper because I wanted to cover this up, but I wanted to keep the blue, you know, on this side kind of as the background. So this is a different piece from that Fresh as a Daisy Designer Series paper pack. And so this piece is just 1.5 by 5 1/4. And so I just adhered this to that right side so that it covers that up. There we go. And then I just cut a 1/4 inch wide piece of some of that new copper clay cardstock. And then I'm just going to add that right here. And I'm using liquid glue to just kind of scoot this into place here. And then I just put it on a white card base. So it's kind of a fun way to stick with the daisies and create another daisy card. And then, of course, I have the same greeting on the same label. So I think this copper clay just goes really good with the blue and with the daisies. And then you can just add your, you know, little pearls or whatever you want to add to decorate it. So they're quick and simple cards, but they're really beautiful. And then this piece, I'll show you what I did with this one. This one I got a little more fancy and used some of the die cuts from the stamp set or from the bundle. But this is the piece that I cut out from that one sheet wonder, from that one sheet. And instead of using the gray, I just flipped this around and I'm just using that Moody Mauve. So basically what I did is I started with a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of white cardstock, and then I just embossed it with that time worn 3D embossing folder. I think that's what it's called, time worn. And we'll just add this. And then I used this piece off to the right side just to kind of bring back that Moody Mauve. So that's one of the fun new in colors. So we'll just add this off to the side here. And then I cut out a variety of different daisies from a different piece of paper. Now I could have stamped these, but I thought this just worked really well with the paper here. And so I just decided to cut these out with my scissors. So basically that's what I did. So I'm gonna just add some glue here, put these together. So I used one of the daisies that was on the edge, just to kind of layer these together. So we'll give that a second to set up. And then this one is also an edge, it's on the edge of the designer paper. So I just kind of cut around it and used it down on the bottom here. So I'm going to add this one right away. I always love to use those pieces that are on the edge of the designer paper. So that's a great way to do it. And then let's see. Now I have a couple of little die cut shapes from I was gonna say from the designer paper. I have a couple die cut shapes that I created with the bundle, and so those are just gonna go behind the daisy here. So I think what I'm gonna try to do is grab them. Well, actually, let's do this. We'll just hold them in place with some dimensionals. So I just kind of line it up and then hang on to it. It just makes it easier than trying to glue them on. I just use my dimensionals to hold these die cut shapes in place. We'll add this. Oh, we're doing pretty good. And then we'll add this up towards the top here. So kind of a fun little design. And then we'll add our greeting. So we'll tuck this under a little bit. And that's it. And then you can just add some pearls or whatever it is that you want to decorate the card with. So lots of fun ways to use that particular piece. And then this last piece, I used one of the die cut shapes that I created using the bundle. So I'll show you how I put this little daisy together. So there's a couple of die cut shapes in here that you can use to create the daisies in just all different colors. So I cut out these two die cut shapes using white cardstock. I'm just going to add some glue here and put these together. So it just gives a nice little texture to your daisy. And then I cut out a little piece from some of the Pebbled Path cardstock for the center. That just kind of matches my pieces here on the side. So I'm going to let this dry for a second because I'm going to add a little bit of color to that in a minute. So for this one, I started kind of the same way I did with the last one, with just a 4 by 5¼ inch piece of white cardstock that's embossed. So you can use any embossing folder to add some texture. And then I took this piece from the designer paper. So this piece was actually one piece, and I just cut it in half so that I could use it on each side of the cardstock. So actually, I'm going to move this one. Well, that should be all right. We'll move that one over there. So I didn't have a long enough piece to go all the way across, so I just kind of cut it in half so that I could give the illusion that it went all the way across, but it doesn't. So let's see. So there we go. And then this last piece from the designer paper is the one that has all these little dots on it. I just used the back side of that. Since I'm working with the Moody Mauve, I decided to use the back side to create this card. So that fits nicely over there. And then you can see the little flowers on each side. And then, of course, I had to add my little vellum. So this is just a, let's see, what is it? 2 by 3, 2 by 3 inch piece of vellum. We'll just add that in the background. All right, we'll give that a second to dry. We'll bring this little guy back here. So what I did is just sponged a little bit of Moody Mauve in the center here. So I'm going to grab a scrap piece of paper if I have one somewhere. This will be good enough. So we'll just use this piece of white cardstock. So I just want to sponge off a little bit before I sponge on here. We'll just add a little bit of color in the middle. Bring this back. And then I'm just going to add my little center for the daisy so it matches the other centers here. And then I just add my greeting. So basically, once you prep your cards, let's move this down a little bit. Once you do all the cutting and prepping, it really doesn't take that long to put these cards together. And I like to do all my cutting and prepping, and then I do my assembly. So I typically don't, cut and then assemble right away, especially if I'm making a lot of cards like I did today. I like to do all that prep work ahead of time and then create the card. All right, so that is how I use the last one. All right, so let me bring these back and I'll show them to you if I can. So I created, well, here, let's put this down here. I created 7 different cards using just that one sheet of designer paper. And then I used, the bundle and some other things just to kind of decorate them up. So there's 2 sheets of this particular designer paper in that pack. So you can make a total, if you do them the same way that I did, you can make a total of 14 cards using, these layouts that I provided. So it was just kind of fun. I love to play with daisies. Daisies are like my favorite flower. So as you can see on the screen, because I have a daisy on the screen. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this sneak peek and just to see how easy it is to use that pack of paper just to create some very simple yet beautiful cards. So I will get these out on the blog for you later. And I did link in the description below this video, I linked to a paper and ribbon share that I'm doing. And the paper share includes, of course, this and all of the papers that are coming out in on Tuesday. So if you're interested in a paper and ribbon share, you can get a little bit of all the papers, a little bit of all the ribbons, a lot less expensive than if you bought them all individually. So we all share the paper together and then we can all get a little bit of everything. So if you're interested in that, you can sign up and get more details by clicking on the link featured in the description below this video. And I think that's all I have for you guys today. So I hope you guys are excited about the new catalog. I hope I got you excited about the Daisy Suite. And I will have more fun projects for you again next week. So take care, everybody, and have a wonderful day.